Today I'm actually going to review a product that I reviewed a few years ago, and I was pretty impressed with it, and they reached out to me and asked me if I would kind of do a follow-up. And this is the FOBO tire pressure monitoring system. It's a wireless system. It connects to your valve stems. Very, very simple to install. I'm going to show you because I'm going to install it on my 2018 Goldwing. And you may be wondering, well, why would you want to put this on a Goldwing that already has factory OEM tire pressure monitoring? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but just as a demonstration to show you how simple it is to install, I'm going to use my bike and remind you that you can use this system on any motorcycle, and you can also use it on a trailer, and I've been using it on this Bushtec trailer for several years. Been very, very pleased with it. So let's get started.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
Oh, and by the way, you might want to hang around to the end of the video because we're going to be giving away a free set of the FOBO Bike 2 TPMS system for your motorcycle. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how you can register to win this giveaway. Okay, so let's open up this box and I'll show you what comes inside the FOBO 2 Bike 2 TPMS. You get a quick start guide. Now, these come in two different colors, and I this time ordered the silver because the Goldwing has silver wheels, so I thought it'd look a little nicer. And the set we're going to be giving away later in this video will also be the silver color. So if you have dark wheels or black wheels, they do make these in black as well. So they come in black or silver. Okay, let's pop this out and see what's in here. We've got a little, looks like a little keychain device. These, I believe, are some little locks that will prevent people from being able to steal these off of your wheels. I don't think I use these. I'm not sure. I don't think I've used them. I have used them in the past, but I don't think I do on the trailer. And then we have some other, I think this is the tool that you can use for these little locks. They also provide 2 short valve stem replacements just in case you need to replace yours. We will not be using these on the Goldwing or the Bushtec trailer. Now, you will need to download the app, which is the FOBO 2 or FOBO Bike 2 app. This is what the sensors look like. I'm going to take one out of the case here. They're very small. And this is a little battery protector, so we'll have to remove this before we can activate the sensor because this is preventing the battery from being in use. And you can see here the threads. This just screws right on to your valve stem, and that's where it reads the tire pressure. It's very light. And the reason I point that out is I don't think, even if you did not have your wheels rebalanced, I don't think it's so light, I don't think it would affect your wheel balance. In fact, what I would do is I would remove these sensors before you have tires replaced, because you don't want a technician to remove these and set them aside or lose them and then just put a plain old valve stem cover back on. You'd want to make sure you take these off and maybe put them in your pocket until you get your new tires installed and then put this back on. So if we're going to activate this battery, we basically unscrew. There is a base here and it's knurled. So if you hold this, you can kind of unscrew this little cap. And once you unscrew it, you'll be able to see the battery underneath. There we go. Here's your battery. It's a standard battery that you can purchase on Amazon or Walmart or wherever you shop. They're very easy to replace. And I'm just going to pull this little piece of paper out. So now this sensor has power. And you'll also notice there's a little red rubber O-ring. So this system is completely moisture proof. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to put this back on, tighten it up, and I'm going to tighten it down pretty good. Okay, now I'm in the FOBO 2 app on my iPhone. They do make this for Android or iPhone, so you can do either one, or I should say Android or iOS. And since I've already used this app, it already shows my Bushtec trailer here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you set up a new motorcycle and 2 new sensors. You'll have to go through some setup features with the app before you get started, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just going to show you how to add a new motorcycle. And you see that it offers you several different choices here. It'll offer you the different choice between a motorbike, a bicycle, a trike, a reverse trike, a sidecar, and a quad. And then it shows here my trailer setup, which is what I use for the Bushtec. If you have 2 wheels, it also has 4-wheel trailers. All kinds of options, even a uni-wheel bike with an air shock, airbag suspension. So it's got all different choices here for you for your vehicle. Now what's nice about their app is very, very well done. It's very easy to comprehend. And I'm going to select motorbike and click next. And now it's asking me to give it a name. And I'm just going to call this 2018 Goldwing. And hit next. And it's asking me now, do I want an alert if there's 0 pressure in the tire? And of course I do, but you can set these numbers. Now for me, I like to have about 41 pounds front and rear. So it defaults to alerting me if it gets below 38. I'm actually okay because of cold weather. Sometimes it'll get a little bit lower than that. I'm okay going down to 37. And it's also going to alert me if the tire pressure gets above 51. Now it's going to be an audible alert. So you would have to have your cell phone with you for this to take effect, obviously. So let's go to next. Oh, I need to save that. And let's do the rear tire, and I use the same pressure in my rear tire, 41, and I'm going to let it go down. I'll let the rear tire go down to 36 and 51. You can, of course, go in and change this at any time. And let's go to next. Now it's asking for some vehicle information. We'll tell it it's a Honda. It is a Goldwing, and it is a 2018. And then we'll finish it. Okay, so now it has this information. You can see here it's not installed, front and rear not installed. Now it doesn't have a picture here of my Goldwing. It has just a picture of a motorcycle. But I can add a picture of my Goldwing. Actually, it's going to let me take a picture. So let's use the camera. And I'll just come over here and I'll take a picture of my Goldwing. And I'll tell it to use that photo. And now it's got a picture of my Goldwing. It says it uploaded the image. That's good. And there's my Bushtec trailer. You can see I've got a picture of it on here. So now I have 2 vehicles and I can swipe between them and I can see the tire pressure. You can see here my tire pressure on that Bushtec is low. So now we're going to install these sensors. You tap on the one you want to install and it says screw the sensor onto the rear tire position. Touch the sensor with your mobile phone. It says mobile, but it means mobile phone. And then press proceed. So let's go do that. Let's screw a sensor onto the rear tire of this bike. Forgive me for the video's probably going to be at an odd angle because I'm on my side, and we're going to unscrew this valve stem cap. And I'm going to screw this one on in its place. Doesn't matter which sensor you use, it will program it accordingly. Okay, now it's on. The sensor is on the valve stem. And let's click proceed. But I do need to touch this to that valve stem. I think if it's close, it'll probably get it. And it did. And you can see it's already showing the tire pressure at 36.5 pounds, so I'm a little low, but it was cold out here this morning. Okay, so let's go do the front tire. Okay, so we're going to unscrew this valve stem cap. And this is going to screw in its place. And you can see that silver kind of matches these wheels. You wouldn't even know it's on there. And now we're going to tap this to the sensor and hit proceed. I mean, this thing is super simple to set up. They couldn't have made it any easier. It's very elegantly designed. And you can see I've got 39.9 pounds in my front tire, and I've got 36.5 in my rear tire. So that's how simple it is. If I go over here and look at the Bushtec, you can see I've only got 11 pounds on the left, 29.2 on the right. It was at this point I realized that the batteries in my Bushtec sensors were completely dead, because the system was telling me I hadn't read the tire pressures in several months, and I haven't used the Bushtec in that amount of time, so I just never went into the FOBO app to check the tire pressure. So next I had to order some new batteries on Amazon, and I replaced those with new batteries. FOBO claims the battery life is up to 1 year, but I think I've actually gotten a little more than a year out of these batteries in the past. You do want to make sure you tighten these things as tight as they'll go so that they do remain waterproof. Now, I did go ahead and replace the battery in both the left and the right Bushtec sensor. It doesn't make sense to replace one and not the other, so it's a good idea to go ahead and replace them both at the same time. These batteries are really cheap. So after adding some air in the tires of the bike and the trailer, you can see my trailer tires are both 33.5 pounds, and there's the front and rear tire pressure on my Goldwing. So you might be thinking, well, I've already got tire pressure monitoring on my Honda Goldwing, so I don't really need a separate aftermarket TPMS system. But there is a caveat. With the FOBO Bike 2, you can see your tire pressure before you start moving on the bike. The Honda built-in TPMS requires that you go, I don't know, 15 or 16 miles an hour for a certain distance before those sensors turn on and kick in. Now, Honda does that for a reason, and it's to preserve the battery life of those TPMS sensors inside the tires. Those things are pretty expensive to replace, several $100s to replace those TPMS sensors. So Honda, you know, to their credit, they wanted to preserve the battery life as much as possible. But with the FOBO Bike 2, you can see your tire pressure as soon as you walk out to the bike. So that way, you know before you start riding if you need to add air in your tires. I think that is super, super valuable. Now, you might wonder, well, how do I monitor my tire pressure while I'm going down the road? Well, of course, you could mount your cell phone to your handlebars. I don't personally do that, but here is the reason I am now going to keep these FOBO sensors on my 2018 Goldwing, because this to me is a game changer. Take a look. FOBO has an app for CarPlay. So if you've got your phone connected to your Goldwing through CarPlay, you can simply come over here and open this app, and you can see your tire pressure as you're going down the road right there live. How cool is that? So this is why I'm going to keep the FOBO system on my Honda Goldwing. Now that doesn't apply to every motorcycle, but if you have a motorcycle that has Apple CarPlay, you can take advantage of this feature. If you don't have Apple CarPlay, of course, you could simply mount your phone to your motorcycle and you could monitor it that way. So anyway, I think that is very, very cool. So now let me tell you how you can win a pair of these FOBO Bike 2 sensors, brand new in the box. I will be shipping this to you. We're going to have a drawing, and we're going to hold the drawing on May the 1st. On May the 1st, that's your deadline. You have to enter to win before May 1st. Basically, you're going to give us your email address, but we're not going to use that for any purposes other than this for the drawing. In fact, the drawing is being conducted by a third-party company that, they're approved by YouTube to do all this. I'll put a link in the description of this video, and if you'll click on that link, you can go to that website, register for this free set of FOBO Bike 2 tire pressure sensors. So make sure you do that. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you got something out of it, I hope you did, please do me a big, huge favor. Click that like button, that thumbs up. That really does help the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends. The more people watch these videos, the better it is for the channel. And also, if you're interested in purchasing the FOBO Bike 2 tire pressure sensors, I'll put links in the description for that as well. You can get these on Amazon, and I'll put a link for you down there. I think it's just a super, super cool product. This is the second time I've reviewed it, and I've used it for years on the Bushtec trailer and on my 2012 Goldwing. Now I'm going to be using it on the 2018 Goldwing. Thanks for joining me today. Until I see you next time, remember, ride often, but ride safe.